And I gotta ask, I gotta start off by asking this: how many of you guys remember this fucking video? Like this fucking video that I made last month. We are gathered here today to mourn the loss of the little wrestling promotion that could Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Cause of death was Violent J signing his own fucking wrestling promotion a death warrant when he decided to sign as an investor of JCW, the one and only Vince fucking Russo. You guys remember that shit? I'm sure you guys remember that shit, right? So it basically was me going on interestingly enough, a 17-minute tirade about Vince Russo. And I'll be honest with you, when I made this fucking video, I basically considered it a one and done. I played it right off the cuff, and I was very much in my emotions at the time that I made this video. So I wake up Tuesday morning, and I take a look at my phone as I'm getting ready to go pick up my son and take him to school. And I end up getting this message, and it's from Jay. It's actually from Jay. And you can tell because the little thingy right here. Holy shit, he fucking ripped into me. I'll read what he said. He started off with, ha ha ha. You sound like you think you really know what you're talking about, man. It's crazy because your facts are seriously off, like super, super off. And if what you're saying is true and Vince Russo needs a filter to be successful, well, what the fuck do you think I am? You give me no credit. All of this is my doing. All of the dissing you're doing for your 300 views are directly dissing me. Because you're totally giving me no credit as if I'd ever let my company go to hell. Your WCW facts are the worst, dude. We were there. We were actually there when Russo was there. Holy fuck, bro. You should be wearing the clown paint because you sound like a clown. You and everyone else wouldn't even be talking about us right now if he didn't come in. Look at all the attention we've received with Russo on board. You're dumb as fuck. And your boy Jim Cornette, and fuck your boy Jim Cornette. You sound just like the #1 known Juggalo hater, word for word. You're a fuck-ass dude, sitting there shredding us. Fuck off. I accept your challenge. Tune in and watch him burn JCW down, and let's see if that happens, moron. And fuck you for life, wanting to see us crash and burn, sitting there with a Hatchet Man jersey on. Fuck your Juffalo ass. Let me tell you what broke down. So, I had totally forgotten that I even made that fucking video. As a matter of fact, like 3 days into making that video, I was, after making that video, I talked to quite a few other juggalos in the community, and I ended up telling them, on the real, I want to see JCW succeed. I really do. Now, hold on a second, okay? I know that there's going to be some confusion. He fucking fired his shot hardcore. I'll give him that. Now, when I saw this, the very first thing that I ended up thinking was, holy shit, they actually watch us. Me, you, if you're fucking making videos on YouTube, like, think about the fact of how busy Violent J and Shaggy are with the things that they fucking do. Whether it's doing the fucking tours, and Jay running JCW, Shaggy doing the Shaggy Show, and, like, Jay also doing cooking videos on TikTok with Sarah Rusi. This is a busy man. And he actually took the time to sit down for 20 minutes, watch me fucking talk negatively up and down about Vince Russo being in JCW, and then took the time to write down the TLDR. I actually can't TLDR that shit. I actually read it. But still, you get my point. Okay? So the first thought that came into my head was, holy shit, they watch my shit. Okay, like that's a little bit of a stroke. I understand that. And then secondly, yeah, you know, like, because I didn't think that they did. But then after that, I started rereading it. And I started thinking about that, and I said to myself, I fought myself to respond, or even to not respond. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. But, you know, so I started talking to some of my other friends, and I was like, bro, you got to see this. So I screenshotted this, and I sent it to a couple of my friends. One of my friends, who's actually a professional wrestler, ended up fucking saying, bro, whatever you fucking said struck a nerve to a point where he had to go out of his way to fucking message you like this. He's like, you pissed off Violent J. You pissed off Joe Bruce. And as far as I see it, bro, you are absolutely over. Like, he put me over in this dude's mind. And so that gave me a little bit of an ego boost as well. And then I've got I've got him and one other friend of mine who's basically saying, treat this like a fucking gimmick. Like, treat this like a fucking storyline. You know, so treat it like a fucking storyline, bro. Like, you could go and make a standalone video responding to him like it's a fucking wrestling promo. You could respond to this on the Crazy House and fucking double down. You know, if you wanted to, you could literally go full fucking heel. And that was another thing, too, on Nerving Brain. He must respect your opinion, and that hurt him when you dissed the Russo hire. That was one of the main thoughts that came into my head towards the end of it. Was like, okay, I was teeter-tottering between trying to figure out how to do this as a babyface and how to do this as a heel. And whether or not I wanted to go down that route. And I don't want to go down the route of being the fucking heel. I want to be the babyface. So I reread this, and I came to the conclusion exactly what you said, Unnerving Brain. He has to respect me in the sense of being able to send me a response. And this is the first time, obviously, as you've seen, that Jay has ever said anything to me whatsoever. And what I said in my video hurt him to the core. And so all of this, he's trying to hurt me. That's the way I'm seeing it, is that he was saying things in this shit to fucking hurt me. When I made that video, like, I was 100% in my feels. I'm not going to front. Like, hearing Vince Russo being in JCW scares me. And it's because of a lot of the things that I've heard. Not just from Jim Cornette. But I also see a lot of other fucking people that say the exact same things about Vince Russo when he was in WCW and TNA. And so when you hear that enough, it kind of sticks in your head. And it may come off as fear-mongering after hearing it so many fucking times, but my point in the entire video was really just to say, look, this is how Vince Russo is according to what I've been hearing. But, like, taking a look at some of the things that he's fucking saying, let's go back down the thing. Okay, so he's telling me that basically, okay, all of the dissing you're doing for your 300 views, okay, like, this is the way I look at it, was like, okay, I have 2,500 subscribers as of right now, almost 2,500 subscribers, and I've been told that when it concerns doing stuff on social media, if you can get just 10% of people watching your shit, you're a success. And that's why it didn't bother me. But what he's saying is that me talking about this is directly dissing him, because according to what he's saying, I'm giving him no credit. I was basically just, to me, I felt like I was giving out a warning. He should already, I'm sure he knows, but like there was that saying my facts about WCW was wrong, calling me a Juff, shit like that. Like he was out for blood. And I understand why. We all know Jay is very passionate about Insane Clown Posse. He's very passionate about JCW. He's very passionate about Psychopathic Records. It's his life's work. And JCW is his passion. JCW is his fucking baby. And basically me saying the things that I said in my video is basically saying your baby doesn't matter, throw it out with the bathwater. I can see that that's how he would take it. And yes, I will admit that there were things that I said in that video that was way out of pocket and shouldn't have been said because I went too fucking far. Mainly it's the fucking part at the end of the video. Hold on a second, let me switch it over to this channel. Like this, I think, was the out of pocket point. Hold on. Motion. Congratulations, right. Joe Bruce, you just killed your own fucking promotion. I kind of want to watch the fucking shit burn down to the ground at this point. That I went too far with. Okay, because the reality is that I don't mean that. The reality is, and yes, I said it, and this may sound like a retraction because it probably is. But like the reality is I love JCW. Like while I wasn't there at the shows for the first 3 volumes of the DVDs and stuff like that, I have all 3 DVDs. I've watched them. I'm a fan of wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 2 and shit. I'm a fan of professional wrestling. It's my favorite sport, just like him. So like I also have a passion to see JCW be successful. It's just that when I hear Vince Russo, yeah, there's going to be an initial fear. And I wanted to do with this differently than what I did when I first heard about Russo being a part of JCW and the way that Violent J responded to me. I wanted to actually sit down and think about this. And like I said before, I regret saying that because I don't actually mean it. If anything, I was in my fucking feelers, and I apologize for saying that shit. When it concerns Vince Russo, I still kind of have my reservations about Vince Russo being in JCW just because of a lot of stuff that I've heard. Like I said, not just from Cornette, but from other people who have been in interviews with fucking like Sean Oliver and shit, or even Dave Meltzer and some other fucking shit that I've watched over the years. However, the way I look at it, Jay is the filter. Jay is doing the same thing at JCW what Vince McMahon did for WWE. It's his lifeblood. It's his baby. He wants to see it succeed. Of course, he's going to fucking be the filter for whatever it is that Vince Russo wants to fucking throw out there. And the way that I look at it, Violent J in reality has never fucking steered me wrong in the last 30 years that I've been down with the clown. So even though Russo is a part of the fucking show, I honestly will say that, what was I going to say? I trust Jay's judgment on what goes on in that promotion. I trust that what Jay's going to do is going to do whatever he can to try to make that fucking promotion a success. I honestly want to see it be up there. Back in the day after WCW folded, JCW came out and became the number 2 most watched fucking wrestling promotion out there, even though it was primarily just DVDs. So like I said, while I still have my reservations with Russo being on there, I trust that Violent J is going to do what's right for JCW. And you never know. He might actually be just fucking throwing it out there because Vince Russo is a fucking heel to the core, dude. Like the dude's got a fucking name, whether it's famous or infamous. I gotta give him that. I'll give Vince Russo that shit. Because of how a lot of people have put his name out there, he is a known figure. And hiring Vince Russo did create a buzz. I know that because I saw it. Not just from the shit that I showed in that video, but I've also seen Dave Meltzer talking about it. I've also seen JBL talking about it. There have been other things there's been other promotions and dirt sheets that have talked about JCW since Vince Russo was came out and did was it a work shoot when he fucking came out and was like making Big Vito stop beating the shit out of Stephen Flo. Now, one thing I will say too, before we continue, in the JBL thing, JBL's response to it was, I'm not a fan of Vince Russo, but I know that in JCW there is a lot of shit that they do in that promotion that you could never see in WWE, WCW, TNA, or any of the other televised promotions. So maybe JCW is actually a place where Vince Russo can shine. But that was one thing that JBL fucking said. And after thinking about it, I'm like, maybe Bradshaw's right. Maybe JCW can be the perfect fit for Vince Russo. And so with that in mind, I think what I might start doing is I'm going to start fucking watching JCW more. I'm going to start doing I want to try to see about doing more highlights and try to give my honest opinion about it. I don't want Jay to be angry with me. If anything, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying right now, I really wish that I could just tell him face to face. And maybe one day I'll get that opportunity. But outside of that, I'm not gonna I told one of my one of my friends about it, and they're like, I swear to God, you better not fucking go Twizzler over this shit. I was like, that just sounds like some gay retarded ass shit I would fucking do. Just because Violent J got mad at what I said doesn't mean I'm fucking switching sides. I'm not gonna fucking do that shit. Whether or not Jay thinks that I'm a fucking juff because of me saying the things that I said, even if he thinks that I'm a fucking juff when I'm saying this shit right now and retracting what I'd said, apologizing for what I did, it doesn't matter to me because I know that I'm a fucking juggalo. I would like to know though, I am kind of curious, because he said, you sound just like the number one known juggalo hater word for word. I think he's talking about Jim Cornette. I like Jim Cornette. I like listening to his podcast every now and again. But there are still things that Jim Cornette says about JCW and other wrestling that I do not agree with. Like, I know for a fact that JCW is special. Jim Cornette, obviously, he's not a fucking juggalo, so he's not going to get it. But also, Jim Cornette seems to really hang on to the glory days of professional wrestling during the territory days in the 60s and 70s and the 80s. And I don't know if he fucking remembers the fact that professional wrestling started in the fucking circus. And what's at the bottom of a fucking circus tent? Fucking dirt and dust, and a professional wrestling ring sitting right in the middle of the fucking in the middle of the second ring in the middle. So it's like, like that's the one thing that I feel like Jim Cornette tends to forget sometimes. But regardless, let me go back on full screen here. I want to see JCW succeed. Russo initially put some fear in me, and that's what made me make the video the way that I made it. I regret the things that I said about burning it down to the ground. I want to see it succeed. If Russo's on there and Jay's fucking monitoring and overlooking what he's fucking booking, I trust Jay is going to do the best that he can for that promotion. As I said before, he's never steered me wrong in the 30 years that I've been down. I'm going to continue to fucking support Psychopathic regardless. And that's just the way it is. Regardless as to what he says and what he thinks about me, I'm going to continue to support JCW. I'm going to continue to support fucking Insane Clown Posse, Psychopathic Records, and all the fucking people that are affiliated with it, and fuck Twisted. I don't want to fucking grovel. I don't want to fucking chase. I'm just putting this out there, and if Jay fucking sees this shit in 3 weeks, then so be it. If he doesn't, well, he might fucking see me in the crowd. All right, let's go ahead and get into some other shit, shall we? Let's see some other fucking news.